too fast, life moving in slow-mo. I'm a god, but I actually don't know. I mean, better put your pride aside. I'm a Benz, get more like a Volvo. Your best stuff looks like my words. Synapses, fire, and burst. Got the whole crew with me, about to do damage. You know we ain't average. I ain't gonna say this again, but it's in my time. Better look in my eyes. I'm a genius in the skies with my heart on my sleeve. And you force you a block to a king in his prime. Everybody got a line. Sit back with the stars in line. I finesse like my life on the nine. Was a diamond in the rough, and now I shine.
No one could stop us, they'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants. Yeah, shutting it down. Been in the ground and my people all up in this place. Spinning this thing, go to my rank. Royalty up in my veins. I'm loco, think I'm so cold. I say something, ain't no going back. Now they ask where Kiki's at. I'm like, you can't hang with that.
And welcome everybody to week number 9 of the CSL season for Rutgers Junior Varsity. I am here. My name is Dennis. With me, as always, is Dan.
Hello.
Hello, Dan. We're about to get into this best of 3 series between Rutgers JV and, let's try to pronounce this one right on the first one, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Did I get it right, Dan?
Seems close enough. I think
That seemed close enough.
Yeah, we're gonna be fine with that. Anyway, this RPI,
or also known as RPI. Rutgers Junior Varsity still sitting at 8-0, having a great season in the Collegiate Star League. Meanwhile, RPI with a pretty solid season as well, 5-3 so far. Definitely going to be a interesting series between these two teams. Obviously, Rutgers has to be looked at as one of the big favorites. Just with all the wins so far.
Yeah, they're undefeated at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So
one of those wins
is
was
one of those
against Harrisburg, but
we take those. We take those.
Yeah, we take those.
As people would say.
We will be getting into draft very soon for game number 1. RPI will start on the blue side. Rutgers will start on the red. And yeah, we will be playing on 11.2. Disabled still is Viego, which is important to note. So we are not going to see Viego, sadly. RPI's jungler Twala has played a decent chunk of Viego on their own time, but we're not going to see any Viego today. We are going to see
other junglers.
Other junglers. We still. You think we're going to see that Ujir? I don't think it's unlikely, to be honest.
It's possible. Like, the opportunity is there.
Rory plays a little bit of Ujir. Rory's not playing. That's
true.
Dude Bay in the jungle.
Dude Bay in the jungle, actually. Yeah. Wow.
Just saw that one right now.
Yeah, I just noticed. I was like, wait a minute.
That's not super usual for this team. We'll see how that adaptation goes. We were expecting Nucleic. In fact, it will be Dude Bay in the jungle. It will also be Keldrick support. Keldrick has been playing a lot of this season, so not a huge surprise, but yeah, that's a interesting change. There are reasons to be a little bit concerned about this Rutgers team, with not a whole lot of games under their belt since the turnover, since the season change, but definitely reasons to be excited as well.
Yeah, we'll see if they're gonna keep this win streak going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this is the last game of the regular season for Rutgers Junior Varsity. Also, tomorrow, same time, Rutgers Varsity is going to play their last game of the regular season, so definitely be sure to check in on that. I believe that Keldrick and Rory are going to be casting that one, right?
Yeah, and I will unfortunately won't be there. Neither will Dennis, but you will still see Varsity go
Got
at
great
it.
casters.
Yeah,
We got a bunch of great casters here at Rutgers,
We're
and
go-
you can join the broadcasting Discord now. We have that.
that is true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But we are
we're
getting
gonna
the draft finally. RPI again on the blue side, Rutgers on the red. It's a Seraphine ban.
just straight out of the get go, and their Rutgers will respond with the Hecarim. Seraphine.
Hecarim's the no. You can go
Well,
with Seraphine.
Yeah, anyway, Seraphine, obviously one of a very strong champion. I know most people are picking its support, and synergizes extremely well, especially with MF. So,
I've seen it pair really well with Ashe as well. Anything that can apply slows, because Seraphine. So what happens with Seraphine is, with her E, if the target is slowed, it applies a slow. If the target is slowed, then it roots. If the target is rooted, then it stuns. And so, if you can apply a slow on the front end of it and then use a double E cast, you're guaranteed to get a root if you hit one, and if you hit both, then you get a stun out of it. And that is a huge benefit. You also get the extra layer of CC with hitting it twice, with the second one coming a little bit later. So
back
that's
to the
definitely a big
bans,
benefit.
apart from the Seraphine, we see three junglers just taking off straight
Yeah,
away.
and not only is it 3 junglers, but it's 3 pretty aggressive junglers, 3 of the big physical junglers. So we might see AP junglers come through, we might see tank junglers come through. I think Rutgers wouldn't mind tank junglers, given that Dude Bay, I don't think, played a ton of jungle, but that Pantheon could be a Dude Bay pick.
That's definitely
that
a
does
Dude
get
Bay
lost.
pick. The Darius one trick also plays the Pantheon as well, so
And Pantheon is so useful in every position, so
yeah,
that will
definitely.
be a
It
Kaisa
should-
first pick.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we focus on that. That's definitely a big early power pick, but definitely has stuff that can go
Oh,
against
that's the
it.
Keldric Galio.
That's the Keldric Galio. Could go to Everett in the mid lane, although you'd probably expect it more to see on Keldric at the support position. Pairs pretty well with a lot of stuff, and this Rutgers bottom lane has just found a lot of ways to make these kinds of plays work, so...
And on top of that, it's just from Pantheon and Galio, that's just an insane amount of global pressure coming from both those champions. The Galio, I forget what his ult's called, but it's Galio Ultimate, and then there's also the Pantheon Ultimate, which has a big range, so does Galio. If they do try to engage a fight, they probably will be able to from literally across the map, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of follow-up on some sort of engage, because Pantheon can follow in with that ultimate. As you said, Galio can follow in with that ultimate. I don't know either of the names either. That's a Fiddlesticks lock, though. That's
Kinda
interesting.
cause a little bit of problems, actually. In terms of engage, if they go too far, Fiddlesticks can counter the engage and just absolutely wipe out everyone. But if Galio is able to use the ultimate in time, get that nice fat AP shield, Fiddlesticks could be less of a problem in these team fights.
Do you expect that to go jungle? I feel like it's most likely to go jungle.
It has to go jungle here.
Fiddlesticks mid and Fiddlesticks
Ooh,
support
and a
since
flex,
the rework.
and a flex dilution pick, which most likely will go to the mid lane.
To be clear, that is a
Oh,
Tristana,
wait,
not
oh,
Illusion. Had some issues, but that should be fine. So that will be a Tristana lock-in. That is not the Lucian. Still a potential
Either way,
flex
yeah,
pick.
still a flex pick. Yeah.
Tristana mid is still reasonably good, but I do expect it in the ADC position, I think.
It's most likely going
Which will be
AD.
interesting to see. There are a lot of not especially meta picks here. I was going to
I know,
mention the
this-
Mordekaiser, who's kind of fallen out of favor
I know
recently, but was kind of known for a while as the really safe top lane pick, where you would always be able to farm from a little bit of range and have that AP pressure if you needed to bring it.
Yeah, and Tristana has been pretty broken in solo queue. It has a pretty nice win rate. Not sure what the win rate is now. I know it's above the 50s. It's probably one of the highest in the ADC category, apart from, Swain.
And another edit here. That ban is Echo, the RPI 4th ban. It looks like a no ban. That is an Echo ban. So, a couple of issues with Pro Draft, but sometimes that happens with Pro Draft.
We all gotta deal with it,
we are...
and double supports are going to be wiped out. So
Yep. It's interesting that RPI seems to think that the Galio is going towards the mid lane with the Alistar ban. I guess they've kind of hedged their bets, I suppose. Okay, that's interesting. We'll get to that in a minute. RPI seem to like hedge their bets a little bit with an Echo ban and an Alistar ban. One support, one mid, so either way you're kind of pinching the pool. That Kale into Mordekaiser is really interesting. I think Kale is a pretty solid matchup.
Kale will definitely outdamage the Mordekaiser once the level 6
Yep.
Power Spike comes through.
Yep.
So this Kale
I mean,
can
especially when you
become...
outrange, you can definitely do whatever you want.
What the...
Huh.
we're gonna see if there's that. It looks like there is no edit. So where the hell is this Darius going?
All right, we're gonna wait to see the whole team before we make any further discussions.
Forget about talking about Kale. Forget about the global ultimates. I need to know where this Darius is going. Oh my.
Thinking.
That's gonna be. Okay, that is gonna throw me even more off. What is happening?
That's the support pick. I can give you that one. I think Morgana is support. I think it means either a Mordekaiser or a Darius mid.
I think it's a yeah, it's got to be one of those two in the solo lane. Or, well, both of them are going to solo lanes, but one of them is going mid, one of them is going top. I'd assume Darius might go in the top lane. You don't really see Darius in the mid lane all that too much. But you do see that Mordekaiser there. Oh, we got the Senna.
Oh, wow. Remember when we said we didn't
Yeah.
know that much about the Senna?
Yeah, me and Dennis were watching the LEC earlier, and we noticed a very interesting build. You go Kraken Slayer into, I believe, Rage Blade, and then you top it off with the Rapid Fire Cannon. We're assuming the Rage Blade is there, so you can stack, so you can proc Kraken Slayer as much as you can. And from watching Reckless play,
those were some fast auto attacks.
Those are some, yeah, those were some really fast auto attacks. So we'll see if Killian.
This is an odd draft. I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty odd draft.
On RPI side, it's definitely strange, but Rutgers is
even on Rutgers
kind
side.
of,
I mean,
it's like not as weird, but it's still a little weird.
It's not as weird, but even still, you've got a real AD focus. Like the Kale is the only big AP threat for the side of Rutgers, the only real big magic damage threat. You've got the Tristana, you've got the Senna, you've got the Pantheon. That's a lot of physical damage coming out from Rutgers. And it does look like Pantheon will be in the jungle. We were discussing it a little bit, but it will be probably Pantheon jungle, Galio support.
Yeah, it's going to be quite strange.
We could also see, I saw yesterday in the 100 Thieves Cloud9 series that the Fasting Senna was used. I like Galio a lot with Fasting Senna.
Oh, wow.
At least traditionally. I don't know if it's necessarily great in today's economy, but you can still get a Galio with a Rocket Belt and a decent money Senna in there. I don't know, maybe that might be something that Rutgers would want to try doing. We'll probably learn a little bit more as we see this move a little bit further on.
Okay, so it is going to be the Mordekaiser mid.
Yeah, that's what I guess we kind of could have expected, the Mordekaiser mid. And that is an interesting play from Rensselaer.
Oh, that's Everett on the Galio.
Tristana,
unless they're gonna
Senna bot lane.
Unless they're gonna switch it. Oh wow, it's gonna be Tristan Senna. So no fasting shenanigans.
I guess this could be. It could be an outplay.
Could be. They could be just playing with them. They could switch in the last
hold
second.
on
We'll hold.
See what we get. On the side of Rensselaer, I'd kind of like to talk about this a little bit, because it was kind of an interesting decision to pick the Mordekaiser early. You kind of expect Mordekaiser to be kind of a safe blind pick and leave somewhere else to be counterpicked. But flexing the Mordekaiser down to the mid lane and then having the Darius to counter the Kale, because you kind of know where that Kale's going. You know where you're going to do with that Darius. So now that's got to be the power point of this game for RPI, is the Darius versus the Kale in the top lane. Because you picked that counter pick, you kind of mortgaged your mid lane in order to do that. Mordekaiser is not a terrible mid laner by any means, but it should not push anywhere near as well as the Galio, and it should not roam anywhere near as well as the Galio. So it's definitely going to be an issue for this Mordekaiser getting anything done before later game fights, which, by the way, this team is really low range.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Are kind of long range, but Kai'Sa's range is not great for an ADC. And when you compare it to like Tristana Senna, you can get blown up before you even get into a fight.
That is definitely the case. I was going to point that out before you even said that, but yeah, looking at the range, I think the best thing they got in terms of engage is the Fiddlestick's ultimate, but the question is, how is the rest of RPA going to follow up if Fiddlestick just blinks forward? They need to like spend some time to run forward, so it's going to be a little bit difficult, especially when Kai'Sa tries to go for the killer instinct, has to use it at the right time or else she will get focused down. So it's going to be, I'd say, pretty difficult in terms of trying to start fights. They might be better off going for a counter engage instead, but
it's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
I think RPI, if they want to win this game, they've kind of got to dominate from the earlier stages. I do think that top lane matchup has to go really well. But even then, I don't know how ahead you can get a Darius and still do much. It will probably be the Stride Breaker Darius, maybe a Gore Drinker, but I would expect Stride Breaker. If anything, because you do get that little extra dash as well as the slow to kind of jump onto these longer range targets. Kayle, Tristana, Senna, pretty solid range on those champions. You can't really get into there. They'll kite you pretty easily.
Yeah. It's
such an odd draft. I'm not gonna lie. It is a pretty strange draft. I kind of get where Rutgers is coming from in this draft. The bottom lane is very long range. Got a lot of harass there. Kayle has some harass in the top lane. Gives you a little bit of a late game buffer. Pantheon is Pantheon. Galio is Galio. I kind of get what you're coming from there. I don't love the whole thing together. I think Kayle could be something else. But as a whole, it's difficult to see where RPI is going to get advantages from, and so that's what I'm kind of going to be looking for, is what champions do what in order to push this team ahead to win this game. And as a reminder, this is the first game of a best of 3 between Rensselaer, Polytechnic Institute on the blue side, Rutgers on the red. Rutgers going into this game undefeated, 8-0. RPI going in 5-3. And we are going to take a very quick break. When we come back, we will have this exciting game number 1 between RPI and Rutgers. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to game number 1 of this Week 9 CSL matchup between RPI, Rensselaer, Polytechnic Institute on the blue side, and Rutgers Junior Varsity on the red. About to get into this one.
Yep, and looks like RPI going to go for the 5-point. Rutgers trying to look and fish around for something. Probably won't find anything with this 5-point.
Yeah, it's kind of pushing a little low side or bottom side. It might just be to protect SAT prep a little bit. Make sure that there's nothing to get the Kale ridiculously behind early, because as we were kind of talking about in the pregame and as I was looking more at as we're getting into this game, this is definitely going to have to be winning through top lane. Love God has taken the Ghost instead of the Teleport. It's not incredibly unusual for Darius, but it does mean that you are basically immediately losing out on the map state once you get to a later point in the game. And I don't think Darius can even match up incredibly well to Kale after she hits level 6, maybe level 11. Can't push as well as Kale once you get the level 11, definitely not level 16. Can't let the Kale get that far into the game, and you definitely lose out in the mid lane map state when you look at Galio versus Mordekaiser, that matchup. So you definitely have to win through this early game point, and so that's what I've got to be looking at RPI to do. You have to be finding those solo kills in lane. You got to be finding those gank opportunities.
If you think about it, it's basically the same story for Rutgers here. I mean, Pantheon obviously falls off very hard in the late game. The only way he can actually get ahead and do something is, like you said, to have some early kills. In RPI's case, get a lot of solo kills, but Dupe really needs to step it up, try to go for those engages, get those kills for his own teammates. Since Twala, he's a fiddlesticks. He doesn't really do much until level 6, so he's not going to be doing too much, and that's going to be probably the best opportunity before pre-level 6 for Dupe to even go and do something.
I don't disagree, although I do say that if we're at an even
Oh wait,
game
hang on.
scale,
Yef is going to get jumped on here. He's going to have to commit both his summoners. Always focused. Now going to get rooted up. Commits his own summoners too.
That's 4 summoners for 0 summoners. Huge win for Rutgers even without a kill. Now if Dude Bay wants to come visit, it's a really easy setup, especially since Dude Bay does have that point and click CC. And that will work anytime in the next 4 minutes or so, with heals cooldown probably being the only thing that could even try to save this bot lane. And the range on the Rutgers bot lane.
Oh wait, hang on. Dude Bay finds Twala here. Everett does have the mid priority, so he will go and help out Dude Bay here.
Love God is coming up though.
Yeah, Love God definitely coming up. Does have the Ghost. Mordekaiser also hanging around, but meanwhile the Scuttle does go over to I believe Dude Bay actually. And it looks like Fiddlesticks is going to try to equalize that trade by going down to the bot lane Scuttle Crab. So hopefully Rutgers is going to be able to predict that. Although yeah,
Rutgers couldn't really chase anything there, but definitely had some opportunities.
Oh yeah, Dupe has an idea. He has pinged the Scuttle Crab area. Bot lane does have the priority. He is pushing down, but it looks like Twala does find Dupe. Dupe goes for the stun. Is going to try to put in a little chip damage. Mordekaiser still walking down, but here's Everett with the flash taunt. It's going to be responded with Twala's own flash. And now Ascorial needs to start running away. He's going to get stunned up, knocked up. He has flash as well. He is going to use it. And he's going to live with the sliver of HP. Keldrick also waiting in the wings, trying to find a kill onto the Fiddlesticks, but Twala is going to maybe tick down here, the Ignite and the Root, and first blood over to Keldrick.
That was some pretty impressive stun. Oh, we're not done. Okay, never mind, we are done. That was some pretty impressive stun mechanics right there from Keldrick, getting all the damage that you could there. Also, during that play in the top lane, SAT Prep had to burn Flash and Teleport getting back to lane. It's definitely what Love God has to really do in order to make that happen, but once SAT Prep hits 6, it should be a little bit less bad. That's a nice, cheeky stop the recall in order to stop Love God, get a little bit more XP. in SAT Prep's pocket before you see Love God get a whole lot more gold, or get anything from the gold advantage, I should say.
SAT Prep also started with the Berserker Greaves, which I completely agree with in order to try to out-kite the Darius.
Not just out-kite, but also try to farm out as much as possible, because that's the goal for SAT Prep, is just to try to farm for a while.
I mean, he's doing a pretty good job. Has his 3 CS lead. Not the worst. So,
despite the burned flash, like that's probably the big worrying part right now, is the flash is down, the TP is down. A kill could be pretty bad, but haven't seen any kills so far, and there's a level 6. That's a big advantage, I would say, to SAT Prep, even without the flash. That flash will come back eventually.
Yeah, he's in an excellent spot right now. Fiddlestick's not even level 6, so SAT Prep could just freely push this wave. And now Everett gonna do a little bit of trading on a Mordekaiser, but Mordekaiser has a wave to deal with. And the bigger wave is up in the top lane. That's gonna crash right down. SAT Prep might be able to get some plates down, maybe even harass him, but Twala is still moving up that river. Maybe try to gank SAT Prep, will call it off, but looks like the Mordekaiser will be with the Fiddlesticks this time around. SAT Prep will get the plate, but the flash hook is going to be connecting. SAT Prep just going to get taken out, not even going to use the ultimate.
Yeah, I don't know if there was enough time to even use the ultimate. I don't know if SAT Prep even saw it really coming. It's a lot of damage kind of hit in a pretty bad order for SAT Prep. Very well done by Love God. That was really mechanically impressive, but yep, that's not great for SAT Prep. Definitely a little bit pushed up. Still doing all right for a Kayle in this matchup, in this counter matchup. I will say also, earlier Keldrick got the first blood, which typically you wouldn't want a support to get a first blood, but Senna is a pretty useful support with gold. That's already a serrated Dirk, and in lane that's going to be a pretty decent chunk of damage, so it's kind of gotten to even worse of a matchup for the RPI bottom lane. Although Yef and Always Focused almost have their summoners back, so at the very least, the damage that they're taking, they'll still have their summoners, so they'll, if any big all-in comes through, they'll be able to dodge out on that.
SAT Prep gonna do a little bit of chip damage. So it looks like Dubé is going towards the dragon, but Senna's gonna get rooted up, but Always Focus is gonna get black shielded up, so he won't get rooted. As Killian tries to jump forward, do a little bit of extra damage, but meanwhile the dragon is being taken out by Rutgers. And there we go, that's gonna be a free mountain dragon. Ghost's gonna be committed by Love God here, as SAT Prep's gonna get chunked down very low, but it looks like SAT Prep could go even farther, but there's the threat of the Noxian Guillotine, but it's off cooldown. It's on cooldown, so...
Yep. SAT Prep does have the press the attack, which is helping quite a bit, especially with the Berserker Greaves stacking it so quickly. It's an interesting thing Everett keeps doing, which is... in a lot of matchups for mid lane Galio, you can't really do the backwards Justice Punch to get the knockup, but since Mordekaiser is so low range, you're actually able to make that one work. Everett has done it a couple times to interrupt a couple of Asgoriel's Qs and a couple of spells in general, which has been a little bit useful and has canceled out a couple CS, although we're about even in the mid lane, so it's not a huge issue. Looks like that's going to be a Riftwalker for Asgoriel, which makes sense. It's one of the better... It's the Omnivamp mythic. It's probably the best one for Mordekaiser.
Wait a minute. A little bit of a trade. Again.
Yeah, they're both melee, so it's not surprising that they're trading a little bit, but it's also not surprising that neither of them has really had significant kill pressure. We're just chilling out here.
Yeah, the game has died down a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. Killian's gonna get rooted up here. Yep, gonna try to do extra damage, but the bomb on the turret.
I was gonna say, that's a lot of damage, like, even in return, like, even when Killian is rooted forever, there's still a lot of damage that Keldrick can put down, and so they're in still a pretty bad spot. That big auto attack.
Oh, wait, oh, that's gonna be the heal coming out of Yef there. Both flashes are back for the RPI bot lane, but it looks like, look at the map, as the rest of... Yeah, the rest of RPI going to try to punish the bot lane of Rutgers.
Yep.
for being
Everett
this
needs to
far up.
get in range
Keldrick
now.
now in a lot of trouble. That was a very questionable route, but he's going to have to commit his own flash. Killian has his own flash, but it will not have a chance as he's going to get taken out. Keldrick going to get pulled back as Gorio will pick up that kill as well.
Yep. And that was definitely a good rotation by RPI, as well as doing it while Everett was away. Everett could have potentially TP'd in. Dubé might have been just out of ult range, but it's definitely just RPI taking advantage of that situation and getting everything that they needed to out of it. So, pretty solid play there. Still down in gold, though. All the pressure.
There's going to be a gank in the top lane. Love God literally misses everything. He is just going to go down right here.
Yeah, and that's the strength of Kale as you get further and further into this matchup, is that Kale has range, Kale has attack speed. All Darius can really do is try to run you down and hit you a bunch, and if Kale is able to kite away, SAT Prep wins this matchup. So it's something for Love God to watch out for. Love God will get the Stride Breaker eventually, but really doesn't have the gold income right now to get everything that he needs to in order to win this matchup. Already has had to opt for the Mercury Treads really early.
Oh,
It's not
wait a
something
minute.
you
Herald's
necessarily
being
want to
started
do.
up by Rutgers, but there's a lot of people from RPI trying to stop this. Twala doesn't have the
I don't think they can get there.
yeah, they do get the
Yeah.
Herald, but can they get out of here? Dubé is in a lot of trouble. He's gonna have to use the E here, but will not have a chance as Gorio will bring Dubé into the Death Realm. Can Dubé flash out of here in time? The answer will be no, as he will be traded with his own life for the Herald.
Yep, and that will be a herald to SAT Prep actually in particular, which if SAT Prep can make something happen out of that on the top tower, that would be humongous in terms of gold for this team. Still, Rutgers leads in gold despite the kill disadvantage there.
Yeah, they've got a lot
Getting
of
a lot of
plates.
this more invisible advantage. Yeah,
They got a lot
the
of
plates
plates
in
in
the
their-
bottom lane are really big. The advantage down there is pretty significant, especially for Keldrick. Like, usually the bad thing about having a support who wants gold is that you have to split your gold a little bit more, but Keldrick has actually just gotten a bunch of gold, which has definitely pushed this team ahead and helps a lot because now you've already got the Ionic Spark. Ionic Spark, not a mythic, but it's still a good support first item because you got the lethality and you can clear out wards. That's what you need to do as a support.
Wait, did you just say Ionic Spark?
Oh my goodness, I did it. I did the thing. No.
We're casting TFT now.
I'm playing TFT. Let's
Let's
okay.
go. 40% MR reduction.
Yeah. I feel like I've been building Ionic Spark a lot less lately in TFT.
Yeah.
I feel like it's bad.
There's just better items out there.
Yeah, Riven's not in the game anymore, so.
True.
But anyway, Riven's not in this game either. The Galio and a Mordekaiser bonking on each other in the middle lane. Those two kills actually did both go over,
Ooh,
or
Tala
actually 2 of the kills.
might be in trouble, or is he? As the bot lane of RPI going to zone him away from the dragon. But the dragon itself won't be started just yet. We'll see what the RPI are going to do. As Everett's going to get chunked to a 50% in the mid lane.
I will say probably a decent sized loss for Rutgers here is that SAT Prep is not able to use the Rift Herald before the plates drop, so that's actually not a whole lot of extra gold that Rutgers is able to get. They'll probably be able to get the bottom lane tower anyways without any need for the Rift Herald. So it's just kind of a loss there. Still, a lot of money for SAT Prep. SAT Prep is the highest CS in the game, already has a completed item and the completed boots, that Nashor's Tooth. Not a mythic, but a lot of people do like that Nashor's
Ooh,
Tooth.
Escorial going to try to pick a fight onto SAT Prep, but you
I don't
can't
think
really,
that's a smart idea.
you can't really do anything into a kill once she's like very far away. As Everett's going to try to go for something onto Love God, but he's going to get hooked in. The taunt does connect, and Dubé will come in with the ultimate. The stun will connect as well, but the tenacity from Darius is too much for Rutgers to handle. And Love God will be able to get out to safety, as Yev is going to get jumped on by Killian here. Has to use the Killer Instinct to get the shield, but it doesn't even matter as Killian is going to jump forward one more time. Flash forward, Keldrick tries to steal the kill, but it won't be in time. Not even getting an assist either.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty funny, actually. Meanwhile, during that entire play, SAT Prep got a turret in the top lane. I don't understand the move that RPI decided to go there of switching out Asgoriel and Love God in their lane assignments. I don't really understand the point of that. Maybe it was to try to cover the dragon a little bit better. If there was going to be a big dragon fight, you could have Asgoriel TP in and Love God walk over because Love God has the ghost. But it's kind of just showing the disadvantage of bringing Ghost, which I understand why you need Ghost on Darius to try to chase targets down, but when you're using Ghost and Flash to get away with from someone, now you're just kind of in a lane disadvantage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely a feels bad moment, but Rutgers, on the other hand, in a very solid position. Although they are down a single kill, they are still up 2k gold with 2 dragons in their belt. Currently, the Rift has changed to a Cloud Soul, so not the best soul, but Rutgers can use that little bit of pressure to hopefully snowball the game.
Yeah, and it definitely gives a little bit of extra engage potential with those ultimates. So it's not entirely worthless. It's not great, for sure, but it's not the worst thing in the world, and the 20% ultimate cooldown reduction won't be useless if Rutgers is able to pick up those 2 Cloud Dragons. Bunch of mythics have been completed. Basically, first items for... That was an interesting flash.
Not... That... I don't think he meant to do that.
I don't think that happened.
we didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see anything.
Well, SAT Prep, he's gonna get jumped on as Twala is coming in. The Terrify doesn't connect, but the ultimate from the Kale does, but the Noxian Guillotine will be able to finish him off as a quick kill onto the Kale.
Yep. Kind of difficult for SAT Prep. Definitely had that 1v1 against Love God settled. I think that was fine. But as soon as the ultimate came through from Twala, it became a lot more difficult because suddenly you're not able to auto attack anymore. Like, the big CC is just such a difficult play for SAT Prep. Definitely probably should have been a little bit further back, had a little bit more support there if you're going to be making that kind of play, but...
Oh, wait a minute. Before we go anywhere, Keldrick, look what he has. He's got a Rage Knife. You know what that means.
It does. Oh, this is just the build we were talking about.
You know what that means.
Now we get to finally figure out what this does. See, it's we'll figure it out together over the course of this game. Everyone is starting to move towards their mythics. Although Rage Knife means he's also, because the thing about Rage Knife is that you're converting your crit to
AD.
on hit damage.
Yeah, on hit. So
which if you don't have no crit, then you don't have anything to convert to.
I think we cracked the code. We now know why Rageblade exists.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. But Stridebreaker going to do a bit of work onto the SAT Prep. The Noxian Guillotine still on cooldown, but is coming off cooldown very soon as SAT Prep tries to go for the dive, but he miscalculates and he's going to get taken out. Meanwhile, in the top lane, RPI are just getting ripped apart as Twala is going to be the first to go down. Always Focus is going to use the Zanyas to try to stun up Killian to take him out, but it won't be enough damage. Double kill going over to Keldrick. Who's the real AD carry here?
Yeah, Keldrick's Senna pick has been gigantic this game. Killian definitely with a big jump in to make everything happen, but Killian being able to know that your support is going to follow up on kills for you, like usually it would be like, wow, why did that ADC just jump out of a bunch of low health targets? It's because Killian could have died, but Keldrick was easily going to be able to clean all of that up, and that's the advantage that you get when you pick something like a Senna and you get so far ahead in the early game. So definitely a great play by Rutgers. Might be something on the ban list for next time, to be honest, because Senna was the pick.
I'm gonna get chunked out. But you should be fine.
Yeah, but I think that was going to be a recall anyway, right after taking a big fight, taking the Rift Herald. Probably just want to back. Especially because the Cloud Dragon is spawning in 40 seconds as Keldrick pings for me. So that'll be something we are going to look out for.
It looks like Keldrick has spot, the QSS, acknowledging that he is the true AD carry. He needs to be the one staying alive. But it looks like a death rush is being set up. Everett going to pretty much dodge everything except for the hook. Justice punches out in time to reduce any more damage. And now a re-engage is possible by Rutgers, but it looks like RPI will try to find a kill onto Everett, but it looks like the CC won't be there. Keldrick is going to get taken out here by the Noxian Guillotine. Love God going in, but the second Noxian Guillotine doesn't connect. Doesn't get the reset off, but the rest of Rutgers are just falling apart as Dudebay will be the 4th casualty. Triple kill for Love God, and that's going to be a free dragon going over to RPI.
Yeah, that was an enormous fight for RPI. Kind of getting bled out of this game a little bit. That's definitely a lot of new life for this team. And you kind of just can't let that happen. Like, Keldrick has all the defensive things in order to make sure that doesn't happen. You cannot die to Love God in that sort of manner, because if your team is fighting front to back, you can definitely kite away a lot of these targets. But if Love God is 1v2ing your bottom lane, Killian and Keldrick, suddenly SAT Prep was just kind of left out to dry. Like, SAT Prep couldn't do anything.
Uh-oh, Everett probably didn't expect Yef to stay in the bot lane.
I didn't expect him to be there.
He's gonna get chunked down. Has he used the flash?
Not an enormously consequential summoner usage, but still pretty big. I will say that was definitely huge for RPI to stay in this game, but a lot of the late game worries are still the same, and you have to watch out. SAT Prep is already level 13, 2 completed items, including that Rift Walker, or Rift Maker, excuse me. I called it Rift Walker before. That's Kassadin's ultimate. But you get a ton of AP and Omnivamp, which is huge for SAT Prep to try to survive in these fights. Meanwhile, Love God has finally made some action happen with this Darius.
Yes.
A couple of big kills now, but you have to be lucky.
Yeah, kills are making up for the CS disadvantage that Darius is having. He still has the 2 items and the boots, which is the same for the Kale. And Darius also has the Sterix Gauge, so it's going to be much harder for Rutgers to take down. And with that, kill is 9-6. Rutgers still with that 2k goal. Not even a 2k, maybe 1.5k, but same thing. But they're going to start this Baron here. Not sure if Rutgers are in time to react to that. Dudebay is still recalling. He's going to get the recall up, but the Baron's already at half HP. Can Dudebay get there in time? He does. He does have the Grand Skyfall. We'll see if he'll be able to use it in time. Teleport's being committed by Mordekaiser here, but the Dragon is... not the Dragon, it's the Baron's going to get taken down really low, but it's going to be Twala going to be able to take it away. And now Everett's going to get the nice little knockup off. Killian, in the meantime, does get a kill into the Morgana. Twala going to use the ultimate. He's going to try to go for some kind of extra damage. Everett going to be saved for a little bit more. SAT Prep, he's going to do a lot of damage. Everett does go down, though. Double kill going to Love God. Killian, he's getting the resets off. SAT Prep and Killian, the damage dealer, is still alive as Yef needs to run for the hills. And although RPI get the Baron, Rutgers just go even farther though. They're just going to go farther even though they have Baron.
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward time for Yef and Ascorial to try to kind of stop and wait, because I think you can give up a tower when you have Baron out of that. Keldrick wants it. Keldrick's not going to get it. Keldrick wants it.
Keldrick really wants to kill. He's tanking the tower shots right now. Needs to get out of there. Will get the heals off. Doesn't have the Rage Blade just yet, so he's still not doing as much damage as we all think he would do, but...
we all are wondering if he's able to.
I like the ambition from the Flash.
You can see there how much damage that SAT Prep can put out. Now level 15 after all that fighting. Definitely inching closer to that level 16 point. Didn't even open the fight with the extra damage. If that fight had opened with extra damage, I think SAT Prep probably just runs through the entire RPI team. And you've got to be worried about that. If you're RPI, you have to have an answer for SAT Prep right now or you're going to lose. That's a Lichbane purchase, just straight up. That's even more damage right there. I'd be scared.
Oh my. Yeah, once SAT Prep hits that level 16 Power Spike, it's Gonna be much more difficult in terms of how RPI are going to close out this game if they are in a position to do so. So, right now they're gonna try to use what they can with the Baron they got, kind of. But Dragon is up in about 30 seconds, so Rutgers need to try to deny this Cloud Dragon. Prevent any more ultimates being off cooldown much faster.
For a quick update, Keldrick is at 86 stacks.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Everett's gonna get rooted up, but the stun does connect onto all his focus. Is gonna get CC'd up and taken down, but Twala, he gets a nice little ultimate off. SAD prep, meanwhile, he's really low. He's in the death realm. He's gonna get the 1v1 off, but he's gonna win that 1v1. Keldrick gonna get taken out, but doesn't really matter unless triple kill for SAT prep. But Love God also gonna get a double kill as well. He's gonna chase down SAT prep. He's gonna go for the guillotine, but it's not enough damage. SAT prep gonna kite, but it's not enough. Triple kill for Love God. Can he go even farther as Dudebay? No, he will be able to shut him down. It's gonna be an ace for Rutgers, but Dudebay is the only one alive.
Dudebay, the only person left alive on the map, the sole survivor. Everyone else goes down in that messy fight. A lot of that was Twala's big ultimate on the fiddlestick is able to take out so much health from this Rutgers team. Rutgers definitely had a lot of damage throughout there. Love God also trying to clean up on the back end of it, just could not finish off Dudebay. Thought for a second SAT Prep might have been able to kite that one out, but just not able to at this point in the game. And with Love God's item choices, but still... Another big win for, well, I can't call it a big win for Rutgers, but it's definitely a win for Rutgers. It ended up with the dragon taken. One dragon now away from the soul, and it feels like Rutgers is in the driver's seat of this game. I've said that for a while. I kind of said it since the start of the game that I thought Rutgers is going to take over this game once they found their footing later on, and I still think that's true. Let's take a look at SAT Preps. SAT Prep is on the verge of hitting level 16. You're probably going to see it on this minion wave. That's my prediction
and
analysis.
The more important thing, Senna has a Rage Blade.
Yeah, Senna Rage Blade.
So, yeah, I think we literally figured out why the Senna is building Rage Blade is because of that extra on-hit damage from the souls. The souls, if you don't know, give Senna crit chance, and that crit chance with Rage Blade will get converted into extra on-hit. So, lots of synergies going on with Senna and Rage Blade.
Yeah, and the Q procs on hit, so already you're just doing a bunch of extra damage there. No crit has been built by Keldrick. I'd kind of expect some to come in at some point. Keldrick feels like Keldrick could get donated some gold, but Keldrick's already really big compared to the rest of his team.
He's bound to get a mythic one day.
And while we were talking about that, SAT Prep does hit level 16. That's the Kale power spike everyone loves.
And it looks like the Kale's building towards the Zanyas right now? With that stopwatch and the,
I wouldn't be surprised, although it could just be the Codex.
Yeah, the Codex, that's what I meant.
It could just be holding on to a stopwatch for stopwatch's sake. Although I think at this point you have probably enough damage on the Kale, and you just want to be focusing on survivability, which that Zanya's does give you a ton of survivability along with your ultimate. Still, we're moving later in the game. Love God and Ascorial are also level 16 with those level 3 ultimates. Gotta watch out for that, especially gotta watch out for that Mordekaiser. A bunch of QSSs have been built for Rutgers, or 2 QSSs I guess have been built for Rutgers in order to stop anyone from getting completely taken out of fights by Ascorial, but we'll see how that continues to go. Look at Kale.
Yeah, look at this Kale, level 16, has 3 items, has the Lich Bane. Ascorial getting a piece of the damage as we head into a pause.
Yep, Everett has been lagging a little bit, it seems, so just going to be a brief pause and then we'll get back into it, but goodness, SAT Prep is really strong, actually, it turns out.
But on the other hand, if you look at Love God, already 10-4 out of nowhere.
Yeah, Love God has gotten a lot of kills in the back end of these fights, just hasn't been able to win fights necessarily, you know? There've been a lot of decent fights, a lot of close fights, but very few of them have gone resoundingly in favor of RPI, which you would kind of want some of them to have gone a little bit better. I mean, the one where they got the one Cloud Dragon was pretty good. All the rest have not really gotten that far, and
It's
even though it's
been
only
pretty,
a 2...
I'd say pretty even. The past couple
Yeah.
fights we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how Rutgers can close it out, or RPI, whichever one is in the driver's seat at the moment, which seemingly is Rutgers with more towers taken out. If you look at the score, Rutgers has 4 turrets compared to the 0 turrets that RPI have. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for RPI to make some kind of plays happen without having themselves getting overextended.
Yeah. And that'll definitely be... And part of it is just going to be the big concern, and I was looking at this earlier in the game, is how do they win these late-game fights? Lovegod has to run people down, but it gets harder to run people down as the game goes on. Yef might be in charge of winning these fights at this point, but Yef is still only really at that 2-item point. You don't... You want to be a bit stronger than that as Kaisa if you want to take over these fights. And so we are...
They're going to be
We're getting later on. Yeah, another Baron would be pretty big for RPI. The first Baron didn't get a whole lot done, as 4 of them died very quickly after getting it. But
oh, nice little interrupt.
SAT
That's
prep
gonna.
yeah, someone needs to go match.
Someone needs
that
to go
because
back. Yeah.
Asgoriel is doing this on
Yeah,
his own.
Lovegod's channeling the recall here. SAT Prep could just go for the inhib here, but Lovegod, he
But now
has
that
to
Lovegod's
recall.
back-
Now he's chasing SAT Prep. The flash not even going to mean anything. Stridebreaker, and now Yef also trying to cut him off. SAT Prep going to buy a little bit of extra time, but he's doing a lot of damage, but he's still going to get taken down by the Mordekaiser. As Keldrick, he's able to chase down Twala here, the Rage Blade, but Yef is here. He's going to use the Killer Instinct. Keldrick a little bit too far forward, but meanwhile, the Baron being taken out is already very low. Looks like Rutgers will be able to take it, but it's only 3 members of them if they all get out to safety. But the double hook is going to be good as Dudebay and Everett are set to go down. It's a 2v5. There's no way they're going to get out of this, and Dudebay will just get taken down. And Killian, the only man with Baron. We've seen this on RPI side before.
Yeah, we did see it the other way before. It started out really good for Rutgers because it was a great play by SAT Prep. You split the map in half. You say, okay, SAT Prep, you cannot match SAT Prep with one person in the bottom lane. You especially can't match it with Asgoriel Dreamer, who is the only person who can match SAT Prep and get... and also get the TP off if they need to join the Baron fight. So you pull more than one person down to the bottom lane and say, okay, SAT Prep, you can die, we'll take Baron, that's fine. But the Baron, either the Baron was a little too slow, or I think Keldrick didn't need to chase for Twala. I think that if you can chunk out Twala, it's just as good as killing Twala. And Keldrick trying to flash in to finish off Twala was a big problem, because it meant that Keldrick was down and it's now a 3v5 if they're trying to escape without the cover fire
wait,
that
Killian?
is setting it.
Killian and SAT Prep. Look at them go. They're just going to
Yeah,
chunk
they're
down
pretty strong.
Darius, and Lovegod had to commit the flash there, and now Dudebay? He's going to go in onto always focus, but there's a black shield on that Morgana. You can't really CC her just yet. SAT Prep going to move forward. And now the Baron. It's only on Killian, but as long as they stay together, they will be able to siege this down. Always focus. Always goes down. The spear! Sniped from downtown by Dudebay as SAT Prep going to go in forward. He's going to get hooked over the wall. He's going to get the ultimate onto himself, but that connects onto everybody, and the wombo combo is there as everyone on RPI will go down, and surely that is the end of the game. Triple kill going over to Dudebay as shutdown goes over to the Kale, and my screen freezes, but it doesn't matter as Rutgers definitely take this game number 1.
Yeah, it turns out when you cast all your abilities to try to defend your big Kale carry that is one of the best late game champions in the game, you just kind of win. And that's going to be it for this game. My screen's also frozen, but I think the game's...
I think it's safe to say that Rutgers took game number 1.
I think it's safe to say that as well.
I don't know what's happening though. This has never happened in my life.
Yeah. For a brief, we'll talk about the game for a little bit. Yeah, definitely. I think the big thing in this game was that matchup between SAT Prep and Love God in the top lane. It was definitely a pretty interesting matchup. Both of them definitely got their own end of it at different times. Both of them actually led their teams in damage over the course of the game. I don't think either of them played especially poorly, but at the same time, you got to think that with the whole draft around it, it was kind of inevitable that SAT Prep would do this if the game went long enough. And 33 minutes is plenty long enough for SAT Prep to hit level 16 and then some. Actually got to level 18 by the end of the game. Excuse me, by the end of the game. Hit 4 items, hit everything that you would need to hit in order to finish off these fights. And that's exactly what happened. So big win for Rutgers in the first game. And we will take a very quick break and we'll be back for game number 2. So don't go anywhere.
No one could stop us, they'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. You thought that we were weak, but we're coming right back. This time you're gonna see how we do it like that. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants.
I keep on shattering time. I might just leave you behind. Homie, you stuck on rewind. You should quit sleeping on mines. You got your back on reclined. When I damage your delicate spine, please don't act out, shy and surprised. They be like, what you mean? What is your winning scheme? I got a giant team. Niggas my self-esteem. Run it back, running man. They think they go hard, I'm like, come again. You run at a time and I'm busting in. While you stumbling, I got this blade in my hand for your punishment.
We're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. You thought that we were weak, but we're coming right back. This time you're gonna see how we do it like that. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants.
Well, I woke up on the lobby floor. Yeah, last night was some kind of war. I'm coming down like a waterfall. I check my phone, but you never call. Lost in the ceiling, caught up in the ceiling. I can't seem to let it go. Locked in this cage, I've been stuck here for days, and I can't seem to let you go. You pull me up, and I put you down.
And welcome back to this CSL Week 9 matchup between Rensselaer, Polytechnic Institute, and Rutgers Junior Varsity. I'm Dennis. I'm joined by Dan. And we are about to watch this game number 2. We're about to get into draft for game number 2. Game number 1 was definitely interesting. It felt like draft-wise, there was a lot that RPI had in the early game to make it work. But as the game moved on later and later, Kale started to take over the game, which is what Kale does. And it kind of felt like RPI didn't have a lot of concrete plans later on in the game for a cohesive team comp and a team fight composition, while Rutgers did. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at for RPI here is I don't necessarily... I don't mind seeing things where they can make individual outplays on them, but I would kind of like to see a team composition that had a little bit more oomph behind it, where it kind of has a cohesive team fight where you know who's doing what at every stage of the game. I definitely don't like the Mordekaiser mid. Like, now that the Mordekaiser mid has kind of already gone through, I don't want to see it again, since I don't think it did that much. I'll be completely honest with you.
That
it
is
got a couple
definitely
of
true.
kills.
There
Even with
could
a
have
couple
been
of early kills, it didn't do much.
Yeah, there could have been better picks
Mm-hmm.
instead of that Mordekaiser. And we did talk about the first game, how they didn't have much range. I mean, we did see the potential that they had when they actually got onto the champion, but other than that, they were just getting out-kited. It was just near impossible to get onto anybody. And
Yeah,
it's also
I'm going to. I think my main issue is I want to see champions. I think you can make a team comp work where Darius is a large threat in the composition. Even against this Kale pick, I don't think Darius was the issue specifically, but that kind of top jungle mid, those three champions, it felt like there wasn't a whole lot of room for any of them, for all three of them especially, to all be trying to do something. And so I'd probably like to see two of them change, probably. I wouldn't mind keeping the Darius around, although I'd expect that to be a counter pick. The other two picks, jungle and mid, there are a lot of things that I would have rather seen in either of those positions. A lot of stuff that's a lot more meta, a lot of stuff that's a lot simpler, easier to execute on, especially as you get further into the game. I don't think Fiddlesticks provided a ton outside of a couple of ultimates, and
what
it's
made
not
it
like other
even
champions can't provide ultimates.
but on top of that, just using all your resources to try to kill one person is not the best idea in a sense. I know RPI didn't have much range in that game overall, and I mean, we've seen that happen. We saw a bunch of resources being dumped to try to kill off one person, but then if you look at the rest of the team, they got a Senna with Rageblade, they got a Tristana with 3 or 4 items. So either way, it was just very, very difficult to completely outkite Rutgers in that scenario. But,
Yeah, and that's another thing I wouldn't mind seeing from RPI is more threats.
yeah,
Because I don't think Fiddlesticks was a huge threat. I don't think that Mordekaiser was a huge threat. Kaisa and Darius were the two big threats, and they're kind of threats in different ways. So if you're kiting away the Darius, Kaisa can't really touch you either. And if Kaisa is on top of you, Darius probably can't get near you either. I don't know. I don't really see the big synergy points. So I would like to see a bit more synergistic of a composition if RPI wants to win this game too. And for Rutgers, just keep moving in the same direction. Game 1 went well. Do that again.
do it again.
That's the big thing. Just do it again. I didn't love the Kale pick throughout. I don't think that the Kale pick is something that you necessarily have to go to 24/7, but it's nice to have, undoubtedly. I think SAT Prep played it pretty well, which is really good.
I'm like, because I feel like there's some credibility for that Kale pick, because I would say like Tristana would be the one going aggressive, going to jump in and such. So with that,
We are going to get into draft, it looks like.
yeah, it looks like we're going to draft. But continuing on that thought of the Kale, if Tristana does get one shot, theoretically going very aggressive, they got a Kale at least to cover that up. So I think that was what they were trying to go for.
That's an interesting ban.
But either way, we're going to go get into this draft. And speaking of interesting, yeah, that Mordekaiser will be taken out. It looks like Rutgers did not like that pick.
Yeah, that'll mean one of the Hecarim, Rek'Sai, and Camille will be left up by Rutgers, which were their first 3 bans last game. Seraphine, also a first ban last time. Not too surprised to see it on the ban list again. We might see the Hecarim up. Maybe Rutgers will want to first pick it. I could see that being the decision.
See, apart from the Mordekaiser, all the bans have been the same from game number 1. The Rek'Sai, the Olaf.
Mm-hmm.
If everything goes smoothly, never mind,
Darius
not so
would be an
smoothly.
interesting ban. I wouldn't mind seeing the Darius ban. If Rutgers feels more comfortable playing a more standard team comp against a more standard team comp. I don't love banning both champions. I don't think Mordekaiser was necessary to ban at all. Darius, I can see the desire to ban it away. That does mean both the Hecarim and the Camille are available. I would like to see Rutgers probably pick one of them. They're going to pick the Kaisa instead, first pick. Not terrible. I mean, we've seen a million times, especially the main team pick Hecarim, Camille, Galio as the top 3. And it's available here for RPI. I'm guessing that the Galio will get picked away as soon as Rutgers gets another
the Senna pick is being picked. The Senna is being hovered. Will it be locked in? The Senna
I think
has
RPI
done.
should block Galio,
Yes, the Senna has done really.
that.
Senna has done really well into Kaisa. We saw in the game number 1, Collegiate just popping off on the Senna, and it was like the
Yeah.
Camille Galio. There it is, the Wombo combo.
Yeah, and that's why I would have left the Senna up. I don't think the Senna's that important to get immediately. I think the Galio was almost certainly going to get picked away as soon as you left it open. And I think that Hecarim Galio is a good duo, and it leaves you the opportunity to pick Camille. If the other team wants to pick Camille, like, I guess fine, but they're going to get a much weaker Camille than you, who has the opportunity to get Camille Galio. Gragas top.
I say Gragas top. Yeah.
I think it's Gragas top, although Gragas is a very flexible champion right now. I'm guessing it's not going to be jungle because of the Hecarim, and I'm guessing it could be support
It
with
could
Senna.
be, but it's
I'm
very
guessing
unlikely.
It's gonna be Gragas top. I
Yeah.
love Gragas top right now. Just a ton of consistent, comfortable damage. You got a bunch of healing. It kind of does everything. It's not fantastic at any one thing necessarily, but just as a pick, it's overall really nice to have. Rutgers in the last game banned away the Yasuo and the Thresh in the second ban stage. The Yasuo is already gone. I doubt the Thresh will go just because there's no way that both well, it's really unlikely, I guess, that both the Senna and the Gragas are not going support.
Now, right here is probably going to be the hardest part of the draft for RPI. Do they ban another mid laner, or do they ban a support? And it was like they're going to go for they're going to go for both. They're technically going for both with that Pantheon.
I guess that's true. I think that's smart getting away the Pantheon, though. I would expect Dudebay to play that. Dudebay played it pretty well last game, but we don't know how deep Dudebay's jungle pool is as a not super consistent jungler, so... Zillion actually is the ban. That's interesting. I guess that worked.
They really just want RPI dead. That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But that will mean that the Thresh is available, so RPI is going to pick it up. I guess that will be Senna Thresh in the bottom lane. Has
now
to
the question is, what's the response for the support? There are actually quite a few options right now.
Galio support for Rutgers.
It still could be the Galio support, but we'll see.
Also, we have to know what the jungler is going to be.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, let's go.
Dudebay on the Udyr?
Let's go.
Come on. Luck in the Udyr.
I think it's likely.
Let's go.
We got the Udyr in here. We got the God here. we got the good year.
So, now we have to explain why Udyr is so damn strong in the current meta.
I think we'll wait a moment to see this lock-in from Everett. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Victor here.
It's a nice
Everett
blind pick, although Orianna is one of the better safe picks, but Victor isn't the worst pick here. Okay, wait, Echo, I guess, yeah.
Everett plays a lot of this Echo, has been playing a lot of it, especially since the new season started. I think this is a very big power pick. It was banned away last game by RPI, and I think that... I honestly think it fits pretty well with this team composition. Echo has some pretty good dive and can get the Galio on top of him. He can then ult out, and then the Galio will be stuck in the middle, I guess. Oh boy.
Oh, that is a...
Alright. Okay.
Anti-mage versus anti-mage.
Yeah. Neither of them are
This is going to get interesting. This is going to get very interesting.
This is going to get pretty weird. Alright. Well, we are going to get into real draft in just a minute, and we can kind of run down these compositions a little bit. For Rutgers, I really like this team composition because you have a lot of stuff that can dive, and you got a Galio.
Yeah,
I think that's just a really consistent.
that's a very
everything there.
good explanation of Rutgers' team comp. And like
And
you
I
said,
don't dislike RPI's team comp, to be honest, either. Kassadin gives you a pretty solid late game win condition, not to mention Senna. Senna plus Kassadin's really solid when you get later on to the game. And Gragas, Hecarim, Thresh is plenty of tanky support to get you through everything. Hecarim can also help you push through the early game. The early game from RPI doesn't look fantastic, but they definitely have their options. I would say the biggest thing to look out for on RPI's side is the bottom lane all in, because that could be kind of scary. Kai'Sa Galio versus Senna Thresh, both of those champions not super tanky. You've got the Thresh Lantern, but if Thresh gets caught, ain't got no Lantern for that.
yeah, but I know you stressed a lot about front to back team fighting, like you said, like tanks in the front, people doing damage in the back. But you know, I know it was like hard for Rutgers to try to make that happen. I know that I think there have been slight, I guess, mistakes in positioning in some of those fights that Rutgers had, which is why some of those fights were dead even, with like that one fight where Dube was the sole survivor. I feel like this game is just going to be a lot easier, especially with the Kai'Sa, than with the Killer Instinct just flying over to the other side. If Kai'Sa does get caught out and the rest of Rutgers jump onto someone, Kai'Sa can easily follow that up, and I think Rutgers have a very, very strong team composition overall, even though
Yeah, that's
RPI...
the thing. I totally agree with you. This Rutgers dive comp is really big, and you don't really have to fight front to back when you are just running all over the opposing team. I think if they can try to cut down... I mean, that's the thing also about RPI's team comp, is that Hecarim's kind of a carry, but for the most part, later on in the game, you're going to have two real carries, Kassadin and Senna. Those are two good champions, but also, if either of those champions gets taken out, that significantly cuts down on what RPI can do in those fights, because together they're kind of flexible. Separately, they don't have a whole lot of options to them. And that's what we're going to have to look out for, is what kind of options will be available for RPI if Rutgers is able to execute on a dive comp, get any kills out of it. I think also Rutgers might just try to run through this one in the early game. They do have the options to do so. Ujir, I mean, technically the bear stance is point and click CC. That works pretty well in the early game. Kassadin can actually be kind of messed up by Ujir, just because Kassadin has to get in pretty close range as well, and Ujir can just walk up, slap you in the face, and what are you going to do about it? This bear slapping you in the face. Senna can kite away a little bit better than that, but at the same time, I don't think Senna can kite away better than like a Camille jumping on her, or a Kai'Sa, or an Echo. There's a lot to follow up on someone like a Senna, and that's not... There's some pretty good peel, but not good enough to survive all of that.
But do we hope for the Senna to go for that build?
It has to be that build,
It has
right?
to be,
It
yeah.
has to be Kraken's
There's
player.
no... I mean,
I think
surely,
it's gonna be Kraken's
surely
player.
Senna doesn't go Eclipse first item. Surely...
I would be surprised to see Eclipse first. You're right. I would be really surprised to see it. I'm honestly kind of surprised to see the ADC Senna, especially picked so early in the draft, second by RPI. I really think that the Galio would have been a better pick, because you can kind of take away that dive comp, and suddenly, I mean, Galio's not a difficult champion to play. You can plug it into the mid lane or the support position. You have your pick of top laner at that point. If you want Camille, you can take it. I doubt Rutgers will play that hard for Camille, assuming the Galio is already given over to you. I don't know. It feels like the Senna was a weird pick. There are a lot of other ADCs that could have worked in that position, and I doubt the Senna Kai'Sa would have been the lane that Rutgers wanted to go with anyway. But at the same time, I don't think you want to give it to Keldrick again, because Keldrick played really well last game.
And now he's on the signature champion of Galio.
The signature Galio. How can you let him have that?
How does one let the Keldrick Galio through?
How do you?
The disrespect is real, but the Thresh is gonna be a reasonable pick into the Galio, is able to
Yeah,
fly
and it
away.
was banned.
They're able to fly
Yeah,
away
it-
the Justice Punch, so they got that going
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, and it was also banned away first game. I think always focused probably pretty comfortable with the Thresh pick. Thresh Senna's a really weird lane because it kind of gives you like Thresh is always a good champion, but Senna it's a little bit like Thresh Caitlyn, which is a great lane, but Senna's not Caitlyn. Senna's a little bit less damage heavy than Caitlyn, gives you a little bit more utility. This damage, there's not a lot of damage for this RPI team until you get to the really late stages of the game, and that's what I'm really concerned about on that end. But I think we are going to take a very quick break. When we come back, game number 2 between Rutgers and Rensselaer. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to week number 9 of the CSL season, the last week for Rutgers JV, and this could be the last week of the regular season for Rutgers JV, or the last game, I should say, for Rutgers JV. Very likely, I mean, with a win here, Rutgers JV goes undefeated for the CSL regular season, and will undoubtedly head into the CSL playoffs.
And it looks like they're gonna start off with the "Are you screw Love God?" Needs to be careful here. He's gonna get stunned up. The flash was committed by Love God. SCT Prep can do all he wants. Everett's gonna start the E, and that's gonna be enough damage to get first blood over the SCT Prep.
And just like everyone else in this chat, Rutgers loves Love God, wants to fight him immediately. And that'll be a big advantage early on. Losing the flash on Everett, it will also be a flash trade for the 2 top laners, but in exchange does get that extra long sword and an extra health pot for SAT Prep. Not to mention a Dark Steel sack for Everett, actually. So that's 5 AP.
Everett is very Oh, wait a minute. That's a lane swap. That is a lane swap.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And the reason I don't hate it is because Kassadin can't do a whole lot against Camille. That's basically it. And Camille can do plenty against Kassadin. Because that's the thing. I mean, Kassadin getting magic damage shield on a Q, what is that going to do against the Camille? So I think that's kind of a smart decision right there for Rutgers to try to make on the lane swap.
Ooh, SAT Prep doesn't give a damn. Has to press the attack. He's just gonna go ham. Asgoriel needs to be careful. One more flash forward. We'll be able to kill him off, but Asgoriel has his own flash. Meanwhile, SAT Prep has the ignite instead of the flash.
I was about to mention that. I actually thought that was the flash earlier, but it turns out it's the ignite. And that's incredibly aggressive. I've seen it a couple times from these Camille's where they just go ignite TP, and that ignite's coming up kind of soon. Asgoriel will probably have to look out quite a bit to make sure that he just doesn't get run over by SAT Prep again.
Someone just said that we don't read chat often, but I have it on my second monitor. We just keep getting caught up in other stuff, but we understand that you love God. We see that. And also Keldric. We can't forget about Keldric on that Galio.
Yeah, the very exciting Keldric Galio pick. Sadly been a little bit bullied out in this early laning stage, but that's what you get when you get 1.5 ranged champions.
Wait a minute, SAT Prep's gonna go for a level 3 rotation. Seeing that Asgoriel did roam up towards the top lane, the nice little death sentence, but look at the topside jungle. There's going to be a little bit of a skirmish as SAT Prep going to 2v1 for a little bit as Asgoriel is now top lane.
Yeah, it's going to be a little awkward for a bit because I think that Rutgers knows the lanes they want.
SAT Prep going to be in a bit of trouble. Love God gets a nice little double stun, but it's not going to do a thing. It's just only going to keep Twala alive. And I think I should just keep this here, because they just switch all the damn time. There's no point in changing the scoreboard.
I totally agree, and I think it'll just be whenever each team gets the chance, they'll try to switch up their lane assignments. I think both teams know what lane assignments they prefer and are trying to make sure that they get those lane assignments. I like Rutgers' planning.
Love God's backing again.
Yeah, I love God's backing, but I don't know.
Nice little death sentence. Keldric gonna dodge away with the Justice Punch. That's a nice little dodge. Yef is gonna be in a lot of trouble. He's gonna have to flash away. Keldric with a nice little dodge there. Everyone loves Keldric as Killian, although he's gonna get bursted down unless he gets taken out. Yes, he will. The final auto coming from Yef will be able to finish him off. Keldric did all he can, but he could not save Killian.
Yeah, and that was just a pretty good kiting job by Yef, as well as just good on RPI's bottom lane, kind of understanding the damage that they needed to put out, because
another death sentence. Keldric gonna get rooted up, but will he get taken down? The Q connects onto the tower. That was not what's supposed to happen. But
yeah, close.
It was a good try.
Yeah, it was an attempt.
It was an attempt, but look at this. The Dude Bay, he's coming in. He's going to bear slap somebody here. He's going to bear slap the Thresh. He's going to have to use his own flash. TP's going to be committed by Love God. And he's going to show up here as he's going to get a nice stun off. Justice Punch and the TP coming down from the Caston as well. Keep in mind, he's not level 6 just yet. Love God's going to get chased down by Dude Bay. Everett in the wings too. Twala should be able to get the kill into Dude Bay, but he will not be able to do so. Too many members of Rutgers still here. SAT Prep gonna get the hook shot off, double kill for him, and that's gonna be a pseudo ace going over to Rutgers.
Yep, and Rutgers is absolutely running over this game. I don't think that it was smart for RPI to invite the teleports in there, because the members that could TP are so much stronger for Rutgers than for RPI. I think RPI just kind of should have taken maybe always focused going down, and it wouldn't have been a huge catastrophe. They're going for the lane swaps again. I think Rutgers is going to get the good end of this one. At some point, you're just going to have to like start predicting where the other team is going to swap their lanes to. Although at the same time, I think SAT Prep just kills anyone. Like whoever SAT Prep ends up against in the lane matchup, yeah, I think SAT Prep.
3-0. He has the Sheen already. Like what can you do? Yeah, like what can you do?
Both of his lane opponents would have a Doran's Ring and an Amp Tome. Like that's ridiculous. SAT Prep is so strong. They're having to, Twala is having to kind of sit up here to make sure that nobody dies.
Yeah, they're doing a little, RPI's doing a little shimmy. Yeah, they're doing a little shimmy in the river, try to get that lane swap going, but they do get it off. But that does lose a lot of pressure overall for RPI.
Yeah, that's the thing. When RPI does make these shifts to try to make sure they're not taking as much damage. They still lose trades like that, but also they lose out on CS while they're moving over. And so you can't make those moves that often. Rutgers has been sitting in bad, I guess quote-unquote bad lane assignments for a lot longer
wait a
than
minute,
they've been
Twala,
sitting.
he's gonna show up, try to get a kill onto Everett. He's gonna get the knockdown through, but the parallel convergence does connect. Death Sentence, meanwhile, goes onto Dude Bay, but it's not gonna do anything. The Bear Slap is there. Everett gonna try to beat him down. One more auto will proc the passive, but it won't be able to do so as Dude Bay is gonna get taken out, but it will be traded with Escorial's life. Everett now in a lot of trouble. He's gonna try to get away. Senna, the autos are there, but the double kill goes over to Everett, and he's able to do it in time. Keldrick going to be able to get the third. Can he get the fourth kill? Looks like the answer will be no. Keldrick, of course, doing all he can. Doesn't have level 6.
And Everett baiting his jungler into getting to show off his mechanics there. Dude Bay kind of got run over in the middle of that fight, but...
Ooh, SAT prep.
SAT prep okay. I think
Is he
SAT
okay?
prep's
He should be able to dodge the cask here. There it is with the Hexag Ultimatum. That was really well played by SAT prep.
That was really cool. That was really cool. Kind of got once the press the attack damage came through, it started to get a lot worse for Love God because the damage started coming through faster and faster, and just kind of had to force out the cask at some point. Smart on SAT prep know how to play against that. Just a really good showing from the solo lanes from Rutgers here. SAT prep has been playing really mechanically well. Everett has also been playing incredibly well. Like that last fight in the mid lane was just ridiculous. Bad. I mean, Everett should not have been in that situation in the first place, but given that Everett was in that situation, they got way more out of that than they ever should have.
Oh,
And now this is already a 3.5k gold lead.
Yeah, the first game was very close, but this game is looking a lot like a stomp at this point. We'll see
It's
how
not impossible that
yeah.
RPI comes back. They have the champions that they could need to come back, and yeah.
Oh, here comes Dude Bay. That's good. That has to be a dead Love God. He doesn't have the explosive cast, but he does use the flash, and Dude Bay will be like, okay, we'll let you live this time around.
Yeah, it would have been kind of hard to catch up with that one. Don't want to over-engage. Just getting the flash and then moving over to the Rift Herald is just fine for Rutgers.
We'll
So,
see if
nothing
Dude Bay will be able to do it. Love God. Just gonna take away the blast
Doesn't
cone.
like that blast cone. Disrespect your surroundings.
Oh wait, SAT prep does not like a Love God though. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he will let him live. For the sake of the Herald.
Yeah. SAT prep is closing in on that. I think it's the Divine Thunderer. It might be the
Could be the
Trinity
Triforce.
Force. Either way,
I think
it would
it's
be
the
a very
Triforce.
strong
But
pickup.
meanwhile, Herald does get taken out.
Yep. And yeah, things are just kind of getting worse and worse for RPI. The Rift Herald getting taken is going to be another big chunk of gold going over. The only real spot of good they have is in that bottom lane where the gold is almost even. But that's not a great sign where almost even is the best lane that you have going for you right now. I don't know where they make plays at this point. They just kind of have to
Oh,
overplay.
there's going to be a little bit of a fight here. Yev can't
Like
click
that.
the lantern. Nice control work by Keldrick. Look at him do all he can.
Mechanics by Keldrick. Honestly, very impressive so far.
Oh,
from
wait a minute.
Keldrick.
SAT prep.
Okay, well,
He's going to get another solo kill onto the Gregas. This game is just going out of control. Everett trying to get a kill onto Escorio. Twala is here. He's going to try to do a little bit of extra damage, but Twala, unfortunately, will not be able to. Everett does have the chrono break. And that'll be
I don't
the end
think
of
he
that.
can use it. Just take out that dragon, take a recall. Dude Bay already has finished the turbo chem tank, which is ridiculous. There's the Trinity Force you were talking about for SAT prep. Probably on this back, Everett will be able to finish the rocket belt. And Rutgers is just exploding further and further ahead. Like what?
5-0 on this Camille.
Yeah, 5-0.
Already
Just a bunch
insane.
of solo kills, a bunch.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
Million might be in a bit of trouble. Twala is waiting in the wings. Gonna clear out that ward. Will be spotted. So there won't be any action happening in the bot lane.
That is the Manamune finished for, yeah. So that's something. Ooh, that's Gale Force completed though for Killian. That's better.
That's gonna be.
I think Gale Force is better than a
Oh
99.
no, Ascorial, you need to run. There is a Keldric coming at you. We don't talk about the other 3 members. We only talk about Keldric. He was the one that was coming at Ascorial, and he was scared.
I feel like they're just gonna summon Rift Herald on him.
They could just use it in the bot lane.
Yeah, it might just be a bot lane usage, but they haven't really gotten the push in bot lane.
Yeah, but
like mid lane is a place where they
plates
could get
are
the push
there.
out of it. Look out, Ascorial, look out. Yeah, Dudebay's kind of fishing for a place to use it. They can't really find anything, and meanwhile, Twala's getting some jungle.
Oh, Ascorial, what did we say? You need to watch out. You're gonna get flashed on. You're gonna get CC'd up. Not even a chance to live, maybe. As Everett's gonna try to do what he can. He does have the Chrono Break, but it looks like he will use it to get away. Ascorial, we've warned you twice now.
Yeah, why doesn't Ascorial just listen to us? with our required 5-minute delay.
Not sure if that's like the caster curse here, but wait a minute. What's happening here? Keldric's going to use the Grand Entrance to go in, get a nice little taunt, but it looks like he will keep Dude Bay alive. Keldric doing the most he can to keep Dude Bay alive in that scenario as Killian going to go in. He's going to get a big chunk of damage onto Yef. He did have... I think he had the Gale Force. I don't know why he didn't use it. That was very strange.
Yeah, at the same time, I mean,
oh
no. That's so much damage.
Yeah, there's just too much damage.
So much damage. I actually like the Gragas into the Camille matchup. Now that I'm seeing it, I don't hate the matchup. I just think that Love God got really far behind really early. Not a whole lot you can do about that. I do like the matchup though, given that you can cast Camille out of her ultimate. Once the ultimate's set down, that's kind of a nice little play you can make with it.
They're gonna try for something here as Twala is gonna get stunned up under his tower. It looks like he has no health now as Killian's gonna be the one getting hooked. Good thing it wasn't Keldric, or is it? The Gale Force is still available. SAT Prep in a lot of trouble actually. He's gonna have to maybe do something. Killian is going to live. Meanwhile, the tower does go down. Everett now TPing down to the bot lane. Dreamer is very, very low. He should be going down here. The Protobelt is there. And a nice little root by Yef, but it doesn't even matter. It's double kill going over to Everett. Can he get the triple here? Flash for flash. Dude Bay going to tank the turret for a little bit. Everett now here. The taunt connects. Keldric does die, but he does all he can and will get the kill onto Yef.
Yeah, Keldric dies for the cause. Rutgers is almost 10k gold ahead. Literally 10k gold ahead at less than 15 minutes in. This is just a gigantic stomp. SAT Prep didn't even die in that top lane. Was able to get out because of that extra damage.
Uh-oh, Killian. He needs to be careful. Challenging Smite is going to do a lot of work. He's going to surely get taken down here. One more Q should be able to do it, but it misses! It missed again! Now Killian has the E up and Twala... Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh wait! From downtown.
Downtown, Yef gets it. Yef is having a pretty okay
People
game.
in chat were saying Yef needs to step it up, but it looks like he is, and Everett now on a rampage. In the meantime.
I mean, Yef's got 4 kills. Yef was playing pretty well in lane. It's just so difficult to play when this happens to you.
Oh no, but Yef...
Like,
what can you do?
John Madden. What do you do about that one?
It's just hopeless at that point.
What do you run against that?
I've been in that situation several times where there's a Fed top laner jumping on me and...
What do you do?
It feels terrible.
Yeah. It's not a whole lot Yef can do here, and now the split push potential from Rutgers is actually pretty huge. Because they do have SAT Prep and Everett who are great on the side lanes. Not to mention Kaisa, Galio, Ujir, who are pretty good at holding a mid lane on their own, but also are able to move to a side lane very easily if you want to push over and get either a neutral objective, or try to cut down someone on a side lane. Or if you think that you are getting rotated on one of your side lanes, they can rotate over pretty quickly. Those champions are fast. Those champions have long range mobility abilities.
So we know Rutgers is practically running over this game, but we also have to think about what can RPI do in this scenario. As we said, it technically isn't the end of the world, although it does seem like that right now, but... It's
I
just-
honestly think RPI has to stall the game out. Yef has to get 1 billion souls. Ascorial needs to hit level 16 with items. It's looking pretty bad. I don't love the decision of the Night Harvester for Love God, because you kind of just need tankiness
Oh,
at this point.
Keldrick, he's doing all he can to kill the control ward, but it might not be enough as Keldrick is going to get taken down here. Yef will get the 5th kill out of 6.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you've got all the kills on who you want them, your mid laner and your AD carry. It's just that the other team also has 21 kills, which might outrank that concern.
Oh, wait a minute
That was
now,
pretty
Love God. In a bit of trouble here. Oh my god.
I really do like this Camille Gragas matchup for the Gragas. Like, when I look at the individual interactions, I'm like, wow, Gragas actually has a lot of sauce in this matchup. And then SAT Prep uses like 1 auto attack and deals half of Love God's health.
And
I'm
now
like, oh,
Love God
man,
is dead. Another great dodge with the Hextech Ultimatum as SAT Prep. He's going to get taken down, but the shutdown goes over to Thresh. That's not what you want to see, as Dudebei needs to run away. He's faster than the Hecarim. As, oh wait, Killian now going to be slowed up. Twala going to try to do what he can. Killian going to go farther in, actually. He's going to be tanking tower. He's set to go down here. That sometimes will get connected, but Killian somehow survives as the Galio ultimate is a little bit too late as Dudebei going to get the nice little AP shield, but is it going to be enough to take him down? There's going to be a little bit of damage. Yef going to try to chase someone down. It's going to be Keldrick here. He's going to be traded with his own life, it seems like, or is it? As Keldrick, he's insane. He's going to get the kill on... Not going to get the kill just yet until he's focused. Nice flash coming out of him. Keldrick, unfortunately, did all he can, and that's going to be a double kill for Yef, and Everett, meanwhile, gets a kill on the top lane. What the hell just happened?
So the good thing for RPI is that they're getting more gold into this game overall. When there are a bunch of 50-50 trades, it's good for the team that's behind, because Everett is about to die, actually. We'll see if Everett can get out of that one. I think he won't be able to. I don't think he should be able to. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well,
That's... I think Yef is set to go down
I
here.
don't know how Yef gets out of this one.
Yep,
The
Yef is
answer
gone.
not. Everett actually got out of that as well. The bright spot for RPI is that a lot of these 50-50 trades are not bad because a lot of gold gets traded back to them. And their big issue is trying to... If they can get to, I don't know, 60,000 gold, and they're still at this deficit, it's better. Then they might be in an okay spot to win this game. Right now, they're in a pretty bad spot. I mean, Yef has a ton of gold, though, so that's something at the very least. Not as much gold as Killian, but a lot of gold nonetheless.
Wow, 10k on Everett by himself.
Yeah, Everett has 10k gold. Everett is really, really big.
He is insanely big.
Everett is gonna back and buy a whole Lich Bane.
Yeah, that's what it
Possibly
seems
just
like.
a Medjay, honestly. Although I think a
surprised-
Medjay at this point might be a little late.
I'm surprised at that Nashor's pickup.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times on Echo. It's nice to proc the passive, especially when you're not landing a ton of abilities, or if you want to hit first, proc your passive, get the movement speed, and then start landing your abilities, or if you want to do it a second time, kind of cycle through, or on another champion. There's the Medjay Soul Stealer I was talking about.
Well, Love God does not go for the tankier option, instead goes for extra damage with that Night Harvester. So
Yeah, I kind of would have liked a little bit more tankiness from the side of RPI at this point. Instead of the Divine Sunderer, maybe you go for the Turbo Chem tank. Instead of the Night Harvester, you also go for a Turbo Chem tank, maybe a Crossfire Gauntlet. Anything that would help you take fights, because what you really need is, like, I say this a bunch of times, like fighting front to back, but you really need to be able to fight front to back because you need your front line to survive a little bit, and you need Yef to be able to put out damage and help the front line. And that's kind of how you win a fight down this amount of gold.
wait, Keldrick. Oh. See, he's just too good.
great instincts right there.
He's just too good.
Yeah, exactly. Another this is an attempt by RPI though. I like the attempt. Still very behind though, and still trying to.
Oh, whoa! Where did Everett come from? Where did the Cassian go?
Yeah, he's fast.
What?
He's stacking that Magi.
Oh wait, Killian. Uh-oh, he is not in a good spot. That root is going to hurt him a lot, as the Killer Instinct's gonna do a little bit. Yep.
Oh!
Gonna try to do what he can. Keldrick is gonna use the ultimate. Oh, that Senna ultimate almost connected onto Killian. Somehow it didn't land, but Killian should be going down here. Or is he, as SAT Prep uses the Hexa ultimatum onto Yev? That's just a hopeless moment right there. Meanwhile, Killian has survived, and the rest of Rutgers, that's the go button for all of them to just dive in and kill off everyone, as LoveGod, the only man standing right now. Dudebay going to use the Smite to slow him down. The stun is there, and LoveGod gonna use the cask. It's gonna disrupt a lot of people, and that's actually gonna let LoveGod out to safety. Meanwhile, the inhib is not as safe. The Herald is being pushed. Are we seeing the Dom1 Gaming push onto G2? We'll see as the first Herald goes into the charge. The Nexus towers are down, and the Nexus is already exposed. 22 minutes. Can Rutgers close it out right here, right now? Everett's gonna use the Chrono Break. That's a lot of damage on the Twala. Everett still living, still alive. He's gonna probably use the recall to get the teleport off as SAT Prep. He's gonna do what he can, but all 5 members of RPI are still alive. SAT Prep, he's gonna get stunned up. He's surely gonna get taken down here. Killian doing what he can. Everett's gonna get the back off. Will he teleport in to end the game? Looks like the answer will be no. Dudebay already on the Dragon. Death Sentence not going to connect. As Goriel going to go forward. That's the Mountain Soul already onto Rutgers as Killian's still alive, but Yev is able to shut him down. Everett going 1v5 here as Everett, can he get more? He needs to kill off Yev, but he's doing so much damage, not even a chance for him to use the parallel convergence. That's Dudebay going to try to do what he can to try to kill off Yev here. Keldrick, can he make the hero play? The taunt is there. Can he get the kill? Yes, he will. My screen freezes again. What is this bug? And it seems like Rutgers will take game number 2 and the series.
What a game. Undeniably, that was a game of League of Legends. I'll give props right now to Yev. And honestly, all of RPI, all of Rensselaer League of Legends, because that was a difficult game to play through, but they did not quit. They kept fighting as 5. They kept trying to kite away with Yev. They kept trying to win these fights, but my goodness, they were just getting absolutely run over. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, what just happened?
That's so much. A
lot happened. We'll give it that.
Yeah, we'll give it that. Definitely a lot happened there, and I guess the number one thing, that early play in the top lane, getting SAT Prep the early kill was huge, and then just kind of snowballing from there, getting solo kills, making sure they had kill after kill after kill. They knew everything they needed to go for, and that was where Rutgers kind of won the game. And I got to give a lot of credit to Rutgers there. Definitely showing why this team will finish undefeated and will absolutely make it into playoffs. I don't think it's possible to not make it into
He's
playoffs
already
undefeated.
Yeah, Rutgers is undefeated, 9-0, and
9-0,
that's going to be a very comfortable playoff spot for Rutgers.
And I guess to wrap things up here, first of all, for more Rutgers Junior Varsity, they will be in the playoffs. That will probably start in about 2 weeks. Rutgers Varsity is playing tomorrow, Sunday at 3 p.m. Rory and Keldrick will have that call, which will be very cool. So that'll be their last game of the regular season. They have 1 loss, but they are trying to still push towards the playoffs. I think they'll be able to get it. And with that, I think we are going to
Just
wrap this
one
more
thing before we go. We will be hosting on this channel NJIT, also participating in COL, or not also, but is participating in Seawell. Might have phrased that a little bit weirdly, but NJIT, we will be hosting their game. They are currently in their week 2 against the Binghamton Bearcats. I believe it's game number 2 for theirs. All right, so we will be hosting that as soon as we are going to hop off. So
look forward to that.
Yeah, look forward to that. So with that, I think that'll be it for us.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching, and we will see you again tomorrow.
Everything but you next to me. I know that I've been the enemy, but I've had my moment of gravity, Lost in the ceiling, caught up in the ceiling.